Okay, gentlemen, girls and boys, thank you very much for joining today. I've rounded up as many as I could find. Peter sends his apologies for not being here, and a number of the other girls and boys are out for either COVID testing, not registered for work yet, or already gone home. Welcome to the first Lopolight news. We hope to do this every month, simply because we believe we have a lot to share, a lot to talk about, and we thought that this format might be useful for all of us. A few words on the format here. I expect to take about 45 minutes of your time. There will be an option to post questions up in the upper right-hand corner. There you can place a question, as far as I know, and it will definitely get to us. And I will try to answer as many of them as possible. Otherwise, we'll follow up with an email to all of you, because you've been so kind to register with your emails. But there will be a recording of this session, and this recording will be available to you. So if you want to share that with some of your colleagues, that's perfect. You can use your own discretion about sharing it with direct customers. It's intended to be so, but you might find my words unsavory or wrong, and then that's your discretion of not sharing it. Let's go. I've assemble as many colleagues as possible here. Some of them are new. We are in this fortunate situation in the COVID times that we have, I think we've been good, but we've definitely been lucky of not having any COVID issues in factory. Everybody's getting tested once a week. We are wearing masks, as you can see, in various shapes and forms. We are taking very good care. Then this means that we have a factory that is fully operational. That is not always the case with our suppliers. We have some lumps in the supply stream, but we're managing. And actually, Lopolight is doing fine. Perhaps we can look at that. We have a little bit of shine in here. We're doing fine. We're growing, I think, 35% over the last 5 months. So that's we find it impressive. There's some new people around us, and I want you to know them. And then they'll leave. So enjoy them while they last. I hope they don't leave us completely. But I hope they stay here in the vicinity. In no order of appearance, but in order of logic. Out here, and you can't see you. You have to get into the picture, my friends. Matt is out here. Matt is one of our long-term associates, and he's been around for like forever. And you've seen him. He's actually the star of some of our videos. Matt is currently halfway working here and halfway studying for production engineering. But he's working on our NLCs. Get out of here. Yes. And Lena, who's been Lena's been with us for like 15 years, and she's just a trusted employee that puts the things together. So when you find a Lopolight that works very well, it's probably because it's been through Lena's hands. Next to her is Carsten, who's making all the specialty lights, testing all the weird contraptions that Peter's coming up with, and getting gray hair from that, I believe. Next to Carsten is Johan. Johan, wave your hand. Johan has just joined us and is already part of the family, so that's perfect. And she's taking care of a lot of things, including putting and packing in the factory. Next to Johan is Lisa. Lisa, you have many of you have seen and talked to over the time because she's taking care of our warehouse and doing so very well. And then it's Fleming. Fleming is he's the mailman that I wrote about in our newsletter. He came to us, ranked twice, and stayed. So that's perfect. He's helping Matt with the NLCs and building those. He has a very impressive career as electronics engineering, so we're fortunate to have him. And the small guy next to him is Michael, and Michael comes as a technical salesman, just joined 2 weeks ago, give and take a bit, and with a long history in Raymarine and marine electronics in general, has sailed around the world and has most of the answers that you would need. So Michael has joined us with, I believe, it's getting on quite well. Down here, the small guy down here is Philip, also one of our students, taking up as production engineering, but doing his specialties or his thesis and papers with Lopolight. So he is our QA manager, has been working here for full time for a couple of years, and now taking rejoined school. Is here about half time, and he will also be the guy who leads us through the ISO 9001 journey adventure back in the late summer and the fall of this year. Just behind me with the black mask, I don't know if there's any significance in the color of the mask, is Loretta. Apart from being my wife, she's also taking care of the other guys here and taking care of orders and service issues, and forms the brain trust together with Meta just next to her. And they are the real managers. I'm sorry to say. Meta is operations manager and taking good care of getting the right stuff out in the right time. And at last but not least, Morten. Morten is responsible for our brochures. So if you see a Lopolight brochure, like this one that we just came out with the NLCs, he's the guy who created them, and not just recently. He joined in November, but he has in 15 years been doing this for us. Now he's on the inside, and that's pretty cool. So we're stoked to have this great team around us. Somebody who couldn't participate today is Maël. Maël is a part-time sales associate that we have in France after our distributor went bankrupt down there, and she's already opened doors we didn't know existed. So that's fantastic. So we're doing fine. So that was the short, and go out and make some lights. Thanks to the team. Thank you. The first thing I wanted to talk about was that we have, since you have heard from us last time, we have received a number of certificates, so what in the former days was Lloyd's is today DNV GL, or now actually just DNV, and 100% and a little bit more has been transferred to DNV. Fantastic experience, even though it took, it was a bit stressful because Lloyd's was only in November 2020 telling us that they were not able to hold on to their approvals. A bit stressful. Another one that David, our sales manager in the US, and I have been working on has been this one. I think David will agree with me that it's probably one of the more difficult processes in our business lives. But ADS type approval, this is a significant achievement for Lopolight. I cannot say it any less with any less panache, because in this case they have assessed all our napkin lights, they have assessed all our NLC products, and they have made a complete assessment of our system. If you allow me, I will just scroll through it, and then you can see the detail of that. That's obviously what is approved and to which areas is approved. But from where you can see my my mouse, that's the documentation, and that continues then for the next 4 pages. It was a job, but it's there now, and this will be replicated towards RENA. I know our Italian friends are keen to get me to do this, and that will happen now. We'll do it with the BV. We have a customer in France who is interested in that, and we will slowly extend our approval system across the world. Mike was Mike in the UK, our sales manager over there. He's been working with Russia, and we are getting Russian type approval. So certificates, we are in a good position. We are in an envious position, our competitors would say. You can find those certificates here on lopolight.com. Okay. As you received this newsletter, you saw something that has been perhaps talked about, but it came as a little bit of a surprise. We are changing all our 360-degree lights to this design. It's a long-standing approval that we have now put in place. The lights will be labeled G2 as generation 2. So just to make sure we are on the same page, it is all around 360-degree lights that are now coming into this fixture. So that's a 360-degree light in the color of choice, white, red, yellow, green, blue, in 2, 3 nautical mile versions, some of them also with a strobe. So a perfect light. It is about 2 millimeters higher, and it sits on the same base. Mounting wise, power supply wise, power consumption wise, intensity and so on, identical. The round 360 lights, and for that sake also the round housings 180-degree lights that some of you have been purchasing for larger vessels, they're available as of now. We will on the individual orders that are in, inform you about which version you're getting. You can hear me saying that this came as a little bit of a surprise to us, and that's true. Our supplier has mislaid 500 power supplies. That meant that we had to accelerate this move. That's unfortunate. We couldn't do anything about it at this present time. we are working to get the old power supplies available in a repair and resupply situation, but that's several weeks away. The 180-degree lights, you obviously know them, but those are these half-shell formed lights that we have had good success with. That product will also be transformed into this new setting, and it will be in the same housing as the vertical mount masthead light or the combined side lights is. So a slightly deeper housing. So it's about 15 millimeters more in this direction. The standard configuration of this light is 225 degrees. We are retarding the light in the lenses so that we get to the desired 180 degrees. We're just right now working on mounting options so that you get a mounting option. These are some weeks away. And for double 180-degree lights, we will bring, like we did before, two half shells together in some sort of fashion. We've been tinkering with upgrades. One of the upgrades is this quite popular light, a masthead with deck light. I'll just find the this has been replaced by a light that we introduced a year ago at the Mets, a year and a half ago, which we are calling this one is the DL version. This one is the DLX version. Until recently, the DLX version had a price premium on the DL. Now we have reduced the pricing of this, discontinued the DL, and so you have similar pricing on this, and you get a added benefit of a light with less protrusion, more deck light, so we go from 2.5 watts to 6 watt. So all in all, a good addition. On the stern, we have now an option of putting a deck light on the stern. Good for bathing and for swimming platforms, or for boarding at night, or if you have, this is for the men only, but if you have the call of nature, now you can avoid embarrassments by you actually see what you're doing. The light is the deck light is an attachment to the stern light, and is instead of the lid. So actually, an existing stern light can be upgraded with this. So pretty nice actually. As you will see from the price list, there is a number of news. One of the things is also that we have the let me see here. We have the masthead light, the double masthead light. Just need to share my screen, then we can see it. So this double masthead light, comes into the family together with all the others. The current 5 nautical mile masthead light, you remember the 300-037, they stay there simply because there's a lot of customers who like them a lot. The light that does the same thing, just more compact, in the new design, the 301-011, they are more. They have a more attractive price point, but But as I said, there's customers who want that. The the deck lights. Oh, fantastic! There's coffee coming here. Thank you, my friend. The deck lights that you know as the 200, the 400, 120 series, the 2.5 watt deck lights, they will be discontinued. They are discontinued. There is a replacement coming. I actually had hoped to show it to you today, but shipment of the PCBs from Asia was delayed. So we'll have to wait till next month. So that's a cliffhanger. But what we're looking at is a deck light series that is slightly smaller in the protrusion, mounted in the same fashion, same hole pattern, has more light, so pretty good. Yes. Another thing that we have been working on for quite a long time. Some of you, my friends from the States, will remember me talking about it like 2.5 years ago, I believe, nearly 3 years ago. But a barge light is barging up here. Imagine we now have a working prototype. This is a 20-night barge light with a daylight sensor, a magnetic mount, sturdy construction, very strong, and we've had this developed by a partner who is smart on batteries, which is not necessarily a strong point of us, and we still work to do. We received the prototype a week ago, and there's still work to do. But I can confide in you that it's a high priority project that we want to be successful with, both for the inland waterways in Europe and definitely for the barge traffic that is so prevalent in the US and possibly elsewhere also. But it will be in a recognizable Lopolight quality, so aluminum, black and heavy, with a high degree of reliability, and we're trying to put some smartness into it, and there's a little bit of work to do. Let me be this frank. Pardon me. Another thing that we really have been looking forward to talking about today is, I'll just shut up my screen here, show my pretty face. We have a new website in the cooker. So Morten, that you met briefly before, he is responsible for this, and what we are doing, we are quite far in that process, is we will discontinue our current website, and we are building a B2B web shop that is available for you, for registered customers, all you who have a business relationship with us today will be able to log in. This will be the place where you can lodge your orders, and you will be taken good care of there. In this environment, we have changed our total IT infrastructure to something more safe, which I believe is a important consideration these days. and we are integrating the B2B web shop with some shipment modules that will make our shipping more straightforward and avoid human errors. We just had a recent one in the States where we were supposed to send to a Staten Island address and we sent to a Louisiana address simply out of habit. And this should be prevented in the future. So imagine a B2B web shop, how boring is that? But what we wanted to do was to create a website around it that was more relevant and more speaking to the hearts and minds of our customers. And if you see this is impressions. This is not final, or you will also see some Latin in there. So that's mean that we haven't got around to get the wording correct. But if you see a landing page, as with website these days, it's basically a long, what we would call in Danish, smørrebrødsseddel, a long list where you can scroll down if you're on your mobile device. But the top is the interesting part where you obviously are welcomed. You guys that are, well versed in Lopolight stuff, you can just go directly to your login and get rid of your orders. There will be a quick dial-in order thing so you don't have to go through and look at every nice little picture. That will be taken care of. But for the other guys, we would like to, give them a feel for what they are and what ambience they have, and they can click on either of these 4 categories, and they will then be taken to those. Let me show you here, if it will. So this could be leisure. And again, that continues down, as you can see. It can be super yachts, and you can jump between the different categories. It's obviously the very important and fast-growing sector of commercial vessels, which is extremely important to us. The Navy and military vessels will also have a site for their own. Behind that will be specialty pages for ice class slides. There will be specialty pages for NLCs, and you will be able to look into how do we design the lights, who are we, and all that. And there will definitely be, a bare bones start here before the summer, and there will be it will be filled out over time. So we're quite ecstatic about this. It's a big move for us, and it is important that we move with the times. We are at the moment some of you have seen that we're struggling to keep up, and we are hiring people as fast as we can, for hiring the right people. As you saw, there were 4 persons that we were talking about today that were new. We have been through a COVID flux, if you will, so we had to let some people go when times were not that certain as they are now. And we also have to work smarter, and this web shop is part of that. On my list here, there is a very important task that I did not talk about, so I will do that now. Our navigation light controllers have seen a dramatic expansion in breadth and capability, in acceptance and sales, and it is now the norm that a large vessel that is ordering Lopolights are ordering a nav light controller with it. Supported, of course, by that we have all the paperwork in order, all the certificates are in line, supported by the fact that our customers are getting smart on understanding what an LED light does, and they probably have some experiences of the negative sort about just putting an LED light on an old-fashioned monitoring relay and finding out that's not necessarily a happy ending. But in that context, we have a great solution. So I'll just turn the camera here a little bit so you can follow me. And for some of you, this is repetitive. For others, is this news? But basically, over the last couple of years, we have worked extensively with a touchscreen based controller. This touchscreen, this is currently hooked up. You can see a picture of a ferry, the Staten Island to New York ferry that I believe rather soon will be upgraded to these displays. They currently have a touchscreen push button panel. If you mind, yes. So I'm turned on these three lights. You can see, if you look very closely, you can see that there's also some indicators on the screen itself that indicated where these lights are on. It's actually not that difficult. It's just getting the details right. It's difficult. The brains behind this is this computer. The touchscreen itself is not important. It's it's nice to have, but it can be a computer screen and a mouse and a keyboard. It can be the existing bridge. And we have over the last 18 months been working with a lot of integrators on various sorts, and with the risk of forgetting a few, what we have been working with Carling Tech Marathon on N2K view situations or applications. So a derivative of an EMA 2000 network. Don't ask me details because I can't say it. But the thing is that the guys at Marathon has this under control, and it's for a specific a TOC project in the US. We are working very hard at this present time on a Modbus Modbus TCP/IP protocol for this computer for unmanned vessels where they are concerned about data leakage and hacking potential. So what this basically says is that the touchscreen option is very much alive. It's being developed on every day. It's matured very well, and the customers who have it on board are tremendously happy with it. As with all NLCs coming from this place, they're pre-configured and tested with your lights, and in that context, it's always important for us to reiterate that we would ask for that NLC orders and light orders are bundled together, simply because that allows us to test the things together, especially if we have something that are slightly out of the ordinary. If there's ice class dimming, multiple displays, communications, central bridge, alarm handling, all these things, then it's very important that we configure it and test it correctly so that we avoid issues afterwards. The good old trusted push button panel, it remains our most popular human-machine interface. It is just strong. As as you've heard me say, it's captain proof. You can place your coffee cup on top of it, and you can spill coffee if you want to. It will not take any offense from that. The buttons are recessed, and you can have it in a waterproof version. Since some of you were at the training here in Humlebæk or in Hørsholm, we have upgraded the NLC with a new version of the monitoring relay, the LMRQ, and you can see it. It's easy to identify. It has this big red dip switch thing that is a bit larger than the old one. The other one was placed further down and was green. The only thing that I would like you to remember about this is that the period this needs to stabilize before a teach-in is 35 seconds, where the old one was much quicker. So if you have a customer who has problems with teach-in, you say, be patient, drink some coffee, take it easy, and do the teach-in after a little while. Then things will be okay. This brings me to the end of my presentation here. I have only one thing from Mette to say is that we just come out of a little bit of a issue with no potting compound, but the production is up and running. We have full crew and full attention and full speed ahead. So we should be okay on your orders. We know this is competitive information that is gleaned from the market. We know that not everybody is as fortunate as we are. We know that competitors are sometimes struggling with some of their specialty products, and it might be an opportunity for you to get to know customers who in the past were loyal to somebody else. And our delivery times, if you are cautious and say 6 weeks, we will not end up with X on our faces, but we can probably do it quicker. And it's certainly better than 7 months, which some have. So that's good. Production quality is very high. We have some isolated incidents with product warranties. They are customer specific, installation related in many cases. But we remain humble and very attentive every time anybody has an issue with one of our products, because there's something to learn, there's something to do better next time. And now I'm looking to see whether there were some questions. There is, as far as I can see, no questions. I will. It is. You know, I'm proud. We started out 37. There's 36 of you left. So apart from falling asleep, it's. I think that's an achievement. But you know how to get hold of me. You know how to get hold of the other guys. So that was a question here. Ta-da! Let's see. There we go. This is a criminal lineup. Yeah, Scott, you're right. The Doc, you have a good question about when will the new price list reflect the new part numbers for the lights. Are the G2 series now on the Lopolight website? The price list will be adapted this week. The G2 series are not on the Lopolight website at the present time. You can imagine that the current website is not receiving too much love, so we'll have to carry through a little bit on with the old one, but I will I'll see to that we get something up and running on this one. Sorry, you did not see the bar slide. I'm sorry about that. I believe you will be able to see it now. And I'll turn the camera a little bit here, so the whole thing becomes a little more to what you would expect. But the bar slide, it's heavy, has a magnet, it's aluminum, it has a 330 watt-hour battery inside, a charging point, where we now do it like this, and it's a rechargeable lithium-ion battery. It has an ultra-low K-lock button. You can mount any Lopolight on it that you would want to. So the battery box and the light can be separated. We do have a little bit of the design issues. One could, here you can imagine it, and this stuff is in the way for the light, and other misconceptions. But it is it's pretty sturdy, pretty good. So it's more a design study than a prototype. I'd hoped it would be a prototype. That would mean that we're a bit closer to production. There's no timeline on it yet, and so that's it. Yes. Roger, you are asking when we get the new brochure sheets and price list. I will take care of that immediately. What we've done in a very old-fashioned way is that every time we've been shipping products, I've been asking Lisa to include some of the new brochures with the orders so that we can save a little bit of shipping. But any of you who say would like to have a brochure package, please send a small email to info@lopolight.com. Then we will make sure that you get a brochure package. Michael, you were asking the question whether this Sternlight deck light is a 6-watt one. Yes, it is. It has a somewhat different shape than you would see this one have, and this is because this one has no reflector inside it. It actually goes out in its native 80 degrees fashion, because you would expect this Sternlight to be relatively close to the water, so you need to spread the light as much as possible, whereas this one has a reflector inside, and it has a 26-degree reflection or limitation to focus the light. Michael, you were asking how many months will you still produce the old 360-degree lights? That's an easy answer: 0 months. So it's a little bit awkward, I have to admit. We will fill as many of the existing orders with the old design, and as said, we are working to get a emergency production up and running on those, but that can be half a year. David Faber, you were asking when you want a store display aimed to the recreational market. It's not a new question. It's a relevant question. We've just signed on a new distributor for the leisure market in here in Denmark, and he's asking the same question. So you might be, there might be more voices than until now pushing that. I cannot give you a timeline, but it is something that is being asked for, and I acknowledge that is important. Mike Charter from the UK was asking, will a sample of the deck light be available? The new deck light that is coming out within the next month, I will be showing that in next month's webcast. And I hope to be able to have several to put out as samples at that point. But it's a little too early for me to commit to anything. But samples will be available. The question is when. Alrighty. That was the end of the list of questions. It was the end of my time. I enjoyed talking to you. I hope you feel smarter than when you came. If not, it's my fault. I hope we can make this a tradition to meet every month. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, improvements, let us know. I've shut up the critics here internally and say, well, you can do it then. And that sort of made them quiet. I cannot threaten you with the same, so please go ahead. Doug, I know that you are already writing for something for me, I guess. I would be disappointed if you didn't. But the rest of you guys, thank you very much for being here. We are very happy to have so many of you, and it's just a pleasure to have you as our customers and friends. So thanks a lot. Have a good day.